Hello, everybody, and welcome to this month's episode of Journey of the Master podcast. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you, whether you're joining us live or you are catching the replay sometime in the future. We appreciate you and thank you so much for tuning in. Each month, we have a different theme that really is inspired from our Master's Class Advanced program as to what really is coming up for us this month. Important reminders, things to be aware of, intentions, all that good stuff. And I'm excited, as I am about every episode, but I really am excited about this month's topic, the magnificent journey you are on. And this really was the message at this time, is to really stop and take a moment and realize that you are on this magnificent journey. And the journey always and only leads one place, back to you. The journey always leads back to you, deeper and deeper into your own love, into your own light, into your own truth, to really become more and more and more of who you already are. You are everything you wish to be. You already are, yet you're on this magnificent journey of discovery and potential and possibility, and all roads lead back to you. That is this magnificent journey that you are on. So that is what we're talking about this month. And it really was inspired by a quote that I absolutely love, which is, when you love the journey, then it's no longer about getting anywhere or how long it takes to get there. It's about the love and the joy and the beauty and the miracles and the magic that you experience along the way. And there's one really important thing to remember on that journey. Everything is always happening for you to bring you into new levels of your power. And so think about that in your life. Think about your life as a journey, this amazing journey you're on. In fact, let's step back just a moment and remember that you're not just this amazing human being having a human experience. You really truly are an eternal being, a soul, as I like to refer to it, but your higher self, your soul, your spirit, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Your soul is on a journey throughout all eternity. Truly, I believe that we all come from pure source energy, that which you call God, the divine, pure source energy. And yet, we all chose to have this magnificent journey as the souls that we are, always connected to source, the divine, God, yet on our own magnificent journey throughout the universe and all eternity and all potential and all possibility. And in that absolute, sovereign, divine, infinite state, as the being you might refer to as your soul, you chose to focus yourself at this time into the human experience for the journey of being on earth at this time during the Great Awakening, the greatest transformation of human consciousness that has ever occurred in any lifetime. And you chose to come forth to be here on earth at this time as part of your soul's journey throughout all eternity, to have a human experience on this magnificent journey of being informed. And yet, everything that our soul explores throughout all eternity leads us back to source and the source that we are. But our soul always knows that that source energy is who we really are. And so, in our human experience, as soon as we remember that, everything changes. This journey becomes an incredible, magnificent journey that is always leading you back to you, is leading you home to the truth within you. And one of the things I hear time and time again from students when they share their experience of the wisdom of the counsel, it's like coming home to the truth within you. So, whatever road you take, whatever path you take, whatever you explore, right? It all leads back to you. And so I truly believe that we first go through an awakening experience or a time of awakening on our journey. And for a lot of people, that may happen when something in your life that defined you, who you are, suddenly falls away or seemingly falls apart. For example, the loss of a relationship, the end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, someone near to you making their transition. Might be a health scare or a disease or a diagnosis. It might be the loss of a job or a business. It might be the loss of a very meaningful place or experience or role that you're playing. But when that thing falls apart, that thing that defined us of who we were or falls away, we begin to ask the question, who am I? Because that thing is what defined us. And now it's no longer there, but you are, right? So you begin to ask this question, who am I? And that's a really important part of this magnificent journey, to have the awareness to ask the question, who am I? Begins a whole new level of experiencing yourself and your life and this magnificent journey. And for some people, the awakening journey, like I said, it feels like things are falling apart. And I know when I went through the awakening phase of my journey, I felt like that too. But now looking back, I know, and I know this from thousands and thousands and thousands of students around the world in all circumstances and conditions that have been through their own awakening journey. Your life is not falling apart. Your life is falling into place so that you can consciously and intentionally have this magnificent journey that you are on. So the awakening part is only one part of the journey, right? I share this often because I think it's really important for whoever needs to hear it. I myself experienced what is commonly referred to as a dark night of the soul. It seemed like everything fell apart. Everything that defined me was no longer in my experience. And because of that, I thought I had messed up my own life. I thought that in leaving my corporate career to live my purpose, that I had messed up my whole life. And so I was very hard on myself. I was in judgment of my choices and who am I to think I have this greater purpose? Or what on earth was I thinking walking away from all that safety and security and success to live some greater calling or life purpose? And so I was really, really hard on myself. And so the dark night of the soul lasts as long as you keep denying love for yourself. Most people tend to judge themselves a lot and condemn themselves during that time of awakening when whatever it was moves out of their life. They might feel shameful. They might feel regretful. They might think like they screwed up their whole life, like I certainly did, right? But the moment that you realize that it wasn't falling apart, it's falling into place, and your soul, some greater power, some part of you that has a grander awareness of all that is going on here, is always guiding you, always supporting you. I could have stayed in that job I was in, that relationship I was in, that place that I was in, and I might have been okay. But I look back at that now and go, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine having not stepped out on this journey to live my own greater calling. And it's something that I am so deeply devoted and passionate about, to support everyone, each and everyone who feels that greater calling for themselves, who knows that they are on an awakening journey or is ready to say yes to that awakening journey, because awakening is one part of the journey. In my experience, the best part, right, is the journey, of course, but is when you start to shift from awakening to realization and you start to integrate every part of you to return to your wholeness, your completeness, your perfection. And then everything is an experience on this magnificent journey of going deeper. Things get fuller, richer, more meaningful. And you really do realize that you can choose and create the life that you really want for yourself. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, how do I live my highest potential? That was really the guiding question that I was on this quest to find the answer to, that led me to where I am now in my work with the council and my 4 best-selling books, soon to be 5, the 11 spiritual roles of the soul. I just finished recording the audiobook and the book went to print, so it's coming out January 13th of 2026. But if you're excited about it like I am, you can pre-order your copy now. But yes, 5 books, which is amazing, beyond my wildest dreams. And so realization is a really amazing, amazing, beautiful part where eventually you come into the eternal celebration of all that you are, and you realize that you are your purpose, that your life is your platform, that there's something more going on here. And then you really do start to open up to the spiritual roles that you are here to play as part of this great awakening that is happening on earth at this time at an absolutely expedited and amazing, amazing rate. But I want to tell you guys a story that really shifted my perspective. I heard this story probably 12 or 13 years ago. And I have my own version of it, so I'll tell you my version of it. But it is based on a theory by Buckminster Fuller. And I'm a big fan of Buckminster Fuller. If you're part of our community, yeah, I've mentioned his incredible inspiration in my life many times. But it was in regards to the human's question of, what is my purpose? And so, and for most people, as adult human beings, right, we try to do what we're supposed to do, and we are in pursuit of uh, our life that we want to live. And so, for most people, that pursuit of what you're supposed to do is get a job and make money and buy a house and pay your bills and raise your family, or all these things that we're supposed to do. But he says, essentially, humans are on this pursuit of money and success and attainment, right? They go to their job, they come home. They go to their job, they come home. They go to work so that they can afford to have and do the things they want, right? So here's the human going to work every day. Here's the human done with work, going home. And it thinks that's its purpose, right? And so he relates humans to honeybees and the perspective of a honeybee and what it might think its purpose is and what it can teach us about the human experience. And so if you think of a honeybee, what does a honeybee do? Well, it leaves its hive, its home, and it is in pursuit of nectar. So it is in pursuit of the flower. So it goes to the flower to get the nectar. It goes to the job to get the money, right? It goes to the flower to get the nectar. And that's really its goal. It leaves its hive and it goes to the flower to get the nectar. And then it goes back to the hive and it makes honey, right? So that may be what it says its purpose is. My purpose is to get the nectar from the flowers and go back to the hive to make the honey. Right? And from a bee's perspective, the bumblebee might say, well, however, my life would be so much better, right, if I didn't get all this yellow stuff stuck all over my wings and my legs. When I get to the flower to get the nectar, I get all this pollen stuck all over me, right? And so if I didn't have all this pollen I had to deal with, right, as I fly around and get stuck on my wings and my legs, I'd probably be a lot better at my job, right? My purpose of getting the nectar, right? But what's really happening is as the bee is flying from the flower back to its hive, 90 degrees from what it thinks its purpose is to go from the hive to the flower, right? It is dumping pollen from its wings and its feet and its body all over the ground, which is what is pollinating the earth. And so I like honey, but could we exist as a world without honey, right? What the bee thinks it's making with all of its honey money, right? But what's really going on is the most important part. And it doesn't even realize its purpose is to be dropping the pollen all over the ground, which is what is pollinating the earth, right? And we know we can't live without bees. So what's really going on from what it thinks it's supposed to be doing is happening 90 degrees. It's what's falling on the ground that really is its purpose. And so what I have learned in my own experience of thinking I know what the goal is, thinking I know what the purpose is, thinking I know what I'm supposed to do, maybe the really important part, the magical part, is happening 90 degrees from where you think you're going or what you think you're supposed to be doing. And I would relate that the human's version of pollen is your love that you're sprinkling as you go about doing what you're doing, your light that you're shining on your journey, doing what you think you're supposed to be doing, right? The wisdom you're bringing, the consciousness you're bringing, the truth you're bringing, right? To me, it's that love, that light, that consciousness, that truth of who you are that you are really sprinkling, right? Pollinating your world with as you go about doing what you think you're doing on this journey, right? And so the most important part is the love that you're bringing, the light that you're bringing, the consciousness that you're bringing, your own truth, your own story, your own wisdom, right? Your life is your platform and you are your purpose. And you are on this magnificent journey in the human experience. And every path that you take, whatever path that you choose, leads you back to you, your own light, your own love, your own truth. I think about times I've gone on a trip, gone to Europe, or even gone to different places in the United States. I'm still me, right? And I go have those experiences and I meet new people and I go new places. But when I return, I always have this awareness that there's more now. I have more wisdom, more information, connected with more people, right? And so always looking for these opportunities to be conscious and aware that you are on a magnificent journey and that it's all leading back to you, your truth, your love, your light, the consciousness that you are. And that's really what you're contributing most to everyone that you love, to our beloved human family, and to this great awakening that has been beautifully unfolding in our world. And we can really start seeing that when we're conscious and aware of it. The journey, right? Take a moment right where you are and just look at how far you've come. We tend to be always focused on where we need to go and what we need to accomplish and what we need to do today and what we need to get done. But take a moment and just look at how far you've come. And as it relates back to the story of the bumblebee, and today's a significant day for me because it's one of those days, it's the anniversary of one of those days that was a seemingly normal day. I was going about doing my thing. And in one day, the course of my life changed forever by someone that I met that has completely changed my life in the most amazing ways. And so when, like the bee, we are in pursuit of a particular goal or what we think we're supposed to do, start to be open to the magic that happens that might be 90 degrees. Just you're headed here and it's right here. And you think you need to go here. But if you just pivot a little bit and are willing to see that maybe what you're really being led to and guided to is on the path to where you think you need to be, right? And even when you get there, even when you achieve the biggest goal and your wildest dream comes true and you have a magical, miraculous experience, the journey still continues. There's really no end. Even when we make our beautiful transition someday, a long, long, long time from now, and we leave the density of the body and reemerge back into the non-physical, the journey that we are on continues throughout eternity, right? It continues on. So when you see this less as a destination, that any goal or anything that you want to experience comes from a place of, wow, how fun would that be? Just like if you were on a vacation or an adventure, right? Or a journey, right? For example, you can think of, okay, I want to go on vacation, but when I'm on vacation, I want to have this one particular experience that's available there. And you're so excited about that experience, right? But the vacation continues, the journey continues. So start to think of those things that you really want to experience, those things you want to accomplish, those dreams you want to fulfill in your life. That's all wonderful. But remember that the journey is still going to continue on. And the number one most important thing that you ever need to know about creating the life that you want, choosing the life that you want, manifesting what you want, experiencing true creation, whatever you want to call it, right, is to fully align with it and feel yourself as if it is already realized here and now. And one of the biggest questions I always get about that is, well, if I've never experienced it before, how would I know what it feels like? But there's a reason it's your goal or the dream that you want to experience. Writing my first book, The Wisdom of the Council, was one of those experiences for me. For over a decade, on my vision board was a picture of a book and a picture of Hay House and a picture of it saying a bestseller, right? And it was my dream for the longest time. And when the day actually happened, it was really the day that the books arrived in the mail. I had lived that moment so many times before it actually happened. What would it feel like? What would it feel like to be, if it's your desire, right, a published author or whatever your goal is for you? What would it feel like? Why is it so important to you? Right? And when you ask the question to yourself of why is this thing so important to you? Why is this thing that you want to experience so important to you? And you start feeling into that, you can feel what it's like to align to that dream or desire as already realized. What if the goal was no longer a goal and it was your reality, right? I can't tell you how fast it happened, but as fast as that happened, 3 more books happened, and now a 5th book happened, and it just happened. It just unfolded in the most beautiful ways. But think about whatever that is for you, that dream that you really have in your heart, that thing you want to manifest, that thing you want to experience. Why is it so important to you? I get the question a lot when someone, for example, they want to be in a relationship with the love of their life, but they've never been in a relationship where they felt that. But there's something that is guiding you, if that's you, to want to feel what it feels like. Why is being with the love of your life so important to you? Why is finding your soulmate, if that's what it is, so important to you? The why will guide you to align with the feeling of it already fulfilled. And then here's the most important part. You then enjoy the journey. And this is absolute proof to me. It will be that. or something even better. That thing that happens 90 degrees to where you think you're going, that is so much better than what you could have thought to ask for or imagined for yourself. So if you can get into the what is that thing you want to experience or manifest in your life? What is it you want to create? Whatever it is. Why is it so important to you? Begin to really feel into it until you feel that it is already realized here, now, in this moment. And then let the journey unfold. Enjoy. It's not about where you're going or how long it takes to get there. It's about the beauty and the joy and the love and the alignment and the magic and the miracles that unfold along the way. And then enjoy the journey, because I promise you that or something so much better will show up for you. And I have really started to enjoy the journey to those things, especially when those dreams or desires or goals are kind of big, right? When they're kind of big, I know that my responsibility, my part of the journey, the magnificent journey that we're on, is to get ready, to get ready to step into that, right? And if there's something in my experience that says I'm not worthy or that's impossible, then your part on the journey is to see those things, let them come to the light without judging or entangling, and start to live as someone that has already realized whatever it is that you want to experience. And then enjoy the journey to becoming everything that you already are. Right? That really is the best part. Becoming the person that you desire to be, yet realizing when you do that it wasn't about becoming anything. It was about letting go of everything that kept you from being all that you already are. And that's true, right? For me, in my experience, and something we talked about on last month's Dirty the Master podcast, is going from disappointment to fulfillment. For the majority of my life, I would constantly find myself motivated by avoiding an unwanted circumstance that happened in my life. When I was about 7 years old, I was 7 years old, uh, on a seemingly normal day, my parents told me that they were getting divorced and that my mother and I were moving several states away to where my mother's family was. And so my relationship with my dad and my community that I loved so much there that I was part of, and my friends and my school and my pool that I went to and all the extracurricular things that I was doing went away. And so for much of my life, I tried really hard to be in control of everything, so that feeling of being out of control of something I really want and care about going away motivated me to achieve and succeed and work hard in my corporate job and try to do everything right. Because if I did everything right and I worked really hard, then I could make sure that that never happened to me again. That something out of nowhere threw me, for a loop or was a highly emotional experience. However, there came a moment when I realized that going to the next level in my own life, that I had to shift that story of being disappointed from disappointment to fulfillment. And I had to choose a different perspective that was available about what really happened. I can look back at that time in my life and go, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be who I am had that not happened. Had I not had the experience of growing up with my mom's family in the place that I did, with horses, with all sorts of opportunities that I might never have had, I wouldn't be who I am. I also then spent a great amount of time with my aunt, who was very much on a spiritual path. when I was a young child and how that influenced and inspired my own journey. And I realized that I know in my soul that that was part of the plan for me to become who I'm here to be and to live my purpose and to live the divine plan for my experience. So then I was able to shift that story to see everything that happened for me, that it was really part of my path and becoming who I am. And then I could look at how fulfilled I was. In fact, I was able to look at, wow, how lucky I was that whenever I did see my dad, we had total one-on-one time. We did some of the most fun and amazing things. We had such a special relationship and still have such a special relationship because of all of that, right? Everything is perspective, and you can shift your perspective about anything. And the moment that that all occurred within my own being, to shift and transcend a story of disappointment into a story of purpose, meaning, fulfillment, everything in my life went to a whole nother level. And I feel like, again, it was another important part of the magnificent journey that we're on into a deeper level of realization of your own self love and your own truth and your own wholeness and completeness, how powerful you are, how perfect it all is, that there is a divine plan here, and that everything is always leading you back to you, right? Leading you home to you. In fact, I get asked that question a lot, people wanting to own their own home and have their own home. So if we go back to that as a goal that you have or one of your biggest desires or the thing that you really want, right? Why is that so important? Maybe at some point you didn't feel safe because you didn't have a home, or a home that you were in, you didn't feel like you could make it your own, or you couldn't have it the way you wanted it, or you weren't really safe, right? So we're seeking some external thing in order to feel something within us. And yet, denying ourselves the feeling right here, right now, is what keeps that thing separate from us. So if that's what you desire, right? Why? Well, I want it to be mine. I want it to decorate it the way I want. I want to know that I'm safe and that someone else isn't going to um, tell me I have to move or, raise my rent or whatever it is, right? Go into that why. If it's to feel like you're home, to be home, what would it feel like? Feel that now and feel that as often as possible, all throughout your day. Everything is energy. Everything is absolutely energy. And when you start to allow the energy that is you into your experience, into your force field of consciousness, all of those different things, the most amazing things begin to happen. And I promise you, this magnificent journey that you're on can be so, so, so very fun for you when you're able to shift your perspective into how everything is always happening for you, really remembering your worth, your own self-love, your power. Everything is always happening for you to bring you into new levels of your power so that you can get really clear on what you really want. And then not hold it apart from you and deny yourself the experience, but know that that dream is in your heart for a reason. And you can start to get excited about it and get ready for it and become the person, right, that you really want to be. You're everything you wish to be. You already are. It's all within you. It always has been. Yet, you're on this amazing, magnificent journey of witnessing your own becoming. And sometimes giving yourself an opportunity to slow down for a minute and turn and look how far you've come. I love to reflect on days like today, which is the anniversary of a day that was a seemingly normal day. And all of a sudden, in the most amazing way, my life changed for the better. For me, That's always the people that come into your life. It's always the people, and that person might bring an opportunity. That person may become one of the most important relationships in your life. That person may introduce you to things that completely change your life. That person might introduce you to other people that completely change your life. But for me, it's always the people. And so when you're on this magnificent journey and you love this magnificent journey, right? And you're not so, and this is something I have to really practice within myself, right? Uh, when you love the journey, when you love the magnificent journey that you're on, the journey to becoming all that you are and witnessing your own becoming, it's not about how fast you get there. It's not about even getting there. You will. That or something so much better. It's about the love, the joy, the beauty, the miracles, the magic along the way, right? But for me, sometimes uh, when you set a goal or something you want to accomplish and you're really focused on that, then sometimes I notice that I miss some of the things that are trying to present themselves to me along the way. Back to the bee story, right? The bees going from the hive to the flower, and what's really important is happening 90 degrees, right? Sometimes when I'm in pursuit of my own goal, really the important part is what's happening 90 degrees from where I think I'm supposed to go. But if I slow down, if I'm not so obsessed and determined to get there how I think I should and when I think I should, there's usually always an easier, more effortless, harmonious path. And there's always a gift in slowing down and really taking it in, really taking it in. So look around, slow down and look around, right? Really look at how far you've come. Look at those amazing things that have come into your life. Think about just any person, right, in your life that you love. And if it is a family member that, maybe has been in your life forever, right? Maybe look at how your relationship has evolved, right? Look for the gifts. Look for the gifts. Be open to receive. Look for the gifts and then let yourself receive them. It might be the simplest thing, and it might be a really, really, really big thing. I have a student that was presented with something completely and totally beyond what she ever, 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 ever thought possible for her. She had a dream to create a particular nonprofit and pursue some amazing things that she wanted to do is retreats for awakening and enlightenment and healing and amazing things. And she always thought, well, I have to work really hard and save money and work really hard and save money. And yet, on a seemingly normal day, while sharing her dream with someone came in and offered to donate the money to support her in doing that. And you know what she said the most difficult thing was? Receiving it. Receiving it. I can relate to this so much. Maybe you can too. What if the thing you want more than anything else in the world, right? What if someone gave it to you today? No more working, no more efforting, no more wanting. Here you go. And they give it to you. And it might feel really, really, really big. But all that's asked of you is to receive it. Can you receive it? Can you receive that thing that is beyond your wildest dreams, seemingly impossible? Could you open up today and receive that thing in the most amazing, easiest, effortless way, right? Play in that energy and feel into that. I'm telling you, it unlocks the most magical and amazing things in your life. It's another really great way to get into the energy of having already received it. It's really funny because I've heard that more than once from different students, and I've had my own experience of that. When something really big shows up that you've wanted, there's like this moment where you've got to really take a deep breath and let yourself receive it, right? Because we have these stories that we've got to work for it, and it's going to take a long time, and we doubt it and we question it and we're trying to be patient and trying to have faith. But what if it could be that easy? Right? Feel into the energy of that. Yeah. So, the magnificent journey that you are on. As you go forward today and the rest of the days and weeks that unfold, take a few moments and really slow down and remember and shift your awareness that you are on this magnificent journey. And wherever you go, you can explore a different country, you can explore a different career, you can explore having a business, you can explore different relationships, you can explore all sorts of hobbies and things, and whatever you explore, it's always going to lead back to you. It's always going to lead you deeper and deeper into your own truth, into your own light, into your own love, to be more of who you are, so that you can consciously, intentionally be the light, be the love, be the consciousness, live your truth, live fully, love fully, and be all that you are. So, enjoy this magnificent journey that you are on. If you love this episode, please like, comment, share, tell us the best part of your magnificent journey. We want to hear from you. If you like this, of course, please subscribe. You'll be notified of upcoming episodes. You can also find a lot more at saralandon.com. As I said, I have 4 books out: The Wisdom of the Council, The Dream, The Journey, Eternity, and God, the 15 Success Principles for Self-Realization, my #1 bestseller to date, You Are a Channel, and pre-order the 11 Spiritual Roles of the Soul. Oh my gosh, as I said, I just finished the book and it went to print, and finished the audiobook the other day, and I'm just so excited about this book and sharing it with the world. So please pre-order your copy. You can find it at your favorite retailer. The 11 Spiritual Roles of the Soul, and check out saralandon.com. We have lots of amazing things going on there and additional free resources for you. Lots of YouTube videos out there. Check us out at Instagram, Sara Landon Live, Facebook, whatever your favorite social media platform is. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the magnificent journey. You are everything you wish to be. You already are, yet you are on this magnificent journey of witnessing your own becoming. Thank you for being here. Bye, everybody.